If there was a way for you to be confident that you can figure out any rhythm, no matter how difficult, that is something you'd want to know more about, right? Well, I have good news. There is a way, and I'm going to teach it to you today. So grab that piece of music that you've been working on or that you want to learn, that the rhythm has maybe been intimidating you a little bit. Grab that and we will figure it out together today. So watch this video, then go download my free PDF which explains everything that I talked about and puts it in one sheet for you to keep with you while you practice. Rhythm is what makes music exciting. Imagine your favorite piece in the entire world. Imagine if every single note was exactly the same length. It would be pretty boring, right? Well, that is one of the reasons why rhythm is so incredibly important. If music didn't have rhythm, then we would be living in a very, very, very bland world, right? So I brought my cello out to show you how playing a section of a piece without rhythm, compared to with rhythm, makes a massive difference with the story that's being told. So listen to the first version. So very simple. You can kind of hear a melody forming, but it's not particularly spectacular. Now listen to the version where I play all of the rhythm correctly. It's exactly the same notes. That makes such a big difference, doesn't it? It is now a beautiful, beautiful, joyful piece. And I love it. I love it so much more with the rhythm than without. So for you to understand the rhythm in your piece, you need to know the definitions of 3 words. This is the first step. You need to know what tempo means. The definition of tempo is basically the speed at which you play music. So you could play something really slow, you could play something really fast. The tempo that you play it at is the speed at which you play it at. So the second word that you need to know is beat. It basically tells you how long a note is. Notes are made up of beats, and this is how we distinguish one note from another note. And then finally, number 3, we have rhythm. Rhythm is when you combine different lengths of notes all together in one string, and this creates music. So when I eliminated the rhythm, I made all of the notes all the same length. And that was what was so boring about it. They were all the same length. We need variety in music to make it interesting. So rhythm is creating different lengths of notes in order to make it interesting. Okay, so now if you understand what those 3 words mean, tempo, beat, and rhythm, you can review these definitions by downloading the PDF, then we are ready to go learn our family tree of notes. So let's dive in. So here we have the rhythm tree. We start with a great big whole note, and this one is worth 4 beats. And then we split that in half, and we have 2 half notes. Does that make sense, right? We take 4, we split it in half, so each of these are worth 2 beats. Okay, so now we're going to do that again. When you split a half in half, you get a quarter. Here's what they look like. So then, when we split it in half again, we get 4. And this time, each of them are worth 1 beat, which makes sense, right? Because when we split 2 in half, we get 1 each. So each of these little notes, they are each worth 1 beat. So there's still a total of 4. So these are called quarter notes because we've taken that whole note and we've split it up into 4 parts now. So let's do that one more time, and I want you to try to guess what this kind of note is going to be called. You got it. So if we follow the same pattern, these ones are called eighth notes. And if we take that 1 beat and we split it in half, then each of these are worth half a beat. So it kind of looks like a tree, right? Let's take a green color. Here's our tree. So it's definitely in a tree shape, and it's almost like a family tree, right? Because let's say this is the great-grandpa. That one then had 2 kids, and that became the half notes. 1 here and 1 there. And then the half notes had 2 kids each, there and there. And then the quarter notes had 2 kids each, here, here, and so on and so forth. So this is where music and math really intertwine. They are very similar because we just keep splitting it in half. So if you think about this whole note, this is the very simple way that your teacher when you were growing up probably taught you. So here we have a whole note. Pretend it's a pie. We cut it in half. How many pieces do we have? 1, 2. So we split the whole note in half, and we have 2 half notes. So that should make sense to you. But if you have any questions, just go on my website linked below, and there's a contact me page where you can send me any questions that you might have about this. So as you can see, this just keeps going on infinitely. You can split the notes in half and it'll just continue and go on and on. So now here's where it gets pretty fun. We get to do something called musical math. And if you love math and you love music, you're gonna really love this. If you don't love math, but you do love music, this will give you the skill that you need to love music even more. So regardless where you fall for loving math, this is really important. So let's go do some of these exercises. What I'm gonna do is I will circle a set of notes, and then you can give me the options of what they would be similar to. So here's our first circle. So it's 2 quarter notes. So my question for you is, how many beats is it? So if you said 2, you are correct. Now let's talk about why. So each of these are worth 1 beat, as we see over there. So if we have 1, and then we have 2, we have a total of 2 beats, right? So now your next question is if this is equal to 2 beats, is there another kind of note that we could equal it to? You're right, the half note. So let's draw that up here. We have a quarter plus a quarter, and that is equal to a half note. Now, what if we were to take 4 eighth notes? What would 4 eighth notes be worth? Well, we have to kind of look up these lines, see how they all connect. And we see that 4 eighth notes are worth 2 quarter notes. So you can do this anywhere on the rhythm tree. We can even go bigger. Let's take 8 eighth notes, all of these at the bottom. And I want you to tell me, what is that equal to? We have to encapsulate all of these notes so that 8 eighth notes is equal to 1 whole note. So you can draw our little eighth notes in here. 1, 2. So there we have 8 eighth notes. And now I'll ask you one that's a little bit more tricky. So what I want you to tell me now is how many eighth notes are inside 2 half notes. So if you said 8, you are correct. If you download the PDF, you'll get lots of practice with experiencing different lengths of rhythms, and it'll help you really understand how long each note is and how they all fit together. Thank you so much for watching. Every single view really means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want more practice with figuring out how these notes work together, go and download my free PDF that I have linked below and use it as a reference for when you are learning a new song. Inner Voice Institute of Music now has a live website. I'm so excited to announce this. It's been a project that's been on my heart for a while. And if you are interested in discovering your inner voice through the cello and just learning more about music and the joy that it has to offer, go head to that link, go explore my website, and make sure to subscribe to the newsletter, because this will be where all of the updates will be. And that is all for now. So I hope that you all have a joy-filled week, and I'll see you next Monday.